Welcome yet again. This is Aha, a human among humans. This is my dear friend, I like to call Uncle Jake. You can tell the audience what you call me.
Be Michael.
Blank Michael.
Sometimes blank, but I like being Michael.
Oh, I like Blank Mike.
Okay.
Okay, so we don't agree. And my name is Michael Koran. I'm your host. We were speaking in the last half hour about Abraham's hearing a voice saying, I want you to bring blessings. You will bring blessings, not even want you to. You will bring blessings to all families on earth. Not go and do it. You're doing it. You're going to do it. That's comforting.
Great. So, as everybody does know, this is about discovering his work with Abraham, reinterpretation, discovery of other writers, and discovery of Abraham, different traditions. So I've just been corrected. I thought that I knew a book was coming out of this, but we're not really promoting the book or trying to get to the bottom of the Abraham. For Blank Mike, it's about the discovery, and we're open to saying wherever we go here. So
We're taking a journey.
we're taking a journey.
Not go to the land I will show you. You don't even know where we're going.
We're going to be blessed.
We're doing it, but it will be a blessing to you in case you missed it.
And I'm confused, and that's okay.
Oh, I don't want you to be confused. Tell me how I can unconfuse you.
Well, I don't want to be that. I just realized there's so many different themes here. That there's the family therapy as a part of Abraham with all the different voices that were coming to him.
Yes.
There's the
Family therapy means the different voices are like different members of our family
that are inside us that talk to us. So it wasn't clear if it was Yahweh or God or other voices or what was talking to him.
Yes.
And so, but they also talk to Mike, like Mike, that they're telling you, and you're being inspired by them in your personal life. And then you're looking over at me, and I'm like traveling like Abraham is, and there's parallels there. And so I think you just want to keep uncovering the richness around Abraham.
Yes, just we'll see we'll take this journey for the next 25 minutes.
Okay.
See where it goes. We know what we will be bringing blessings.
Okay, good. So
we have faith.
Bring me some more Abrahamic blessings.
One interesting one. We both don't have children, though, right?
Right.
This is a hard one to be interesting, but I love it. So Abraham is told by El Shaddai, which means God of my female breast, that he's going to have a child with Sarai, his wife, and the blessing is going to go through that child. It'll be coming out of his seed. Well, he continually hears your seed, like planting a seed, is going to plant blessings. And so Jews have thought from Isaac to Jacob to Joseph to Moses and so on. That's the seed of Abraham. A careful reading of the story reveals, not just to me, to other people like Edward Albee, the psychologist David Backham, and other even dramatists wrote a play about it, that most probably the seed of Abraham goes through Ishmael, who is the father of the Arabs. That Abraham and Sarai had no child between them. The Bible claims the woman Sarai is barren, so she takes the blame. But they were half brother and half sister. Might have been very hard for them to be intimate. And halfway through their journey, Sarai says, I don't have a child. Why don't you take my handmaid, my servant, Hagar, who I got when you gave me away to Pharaoh in Egypt. That's another story, but Abraham was scared when they were traveling like you and said, you're so beautiful, they're going to kill me to get you. Just say you're my sister. And so he let her go. Pharaoh took her because she was so beautiful. So Sarai does the same to him. Okay, we're not having a child. Take that beautiful woman I got as a servant when you gave me away in Egypt, Hagar, and go into her. And Abraham says, sure, no hesitation. And the Bible is very clear. Abraham goes into Hagar. They don't mess around.
Okay.
You can see the great motion picture. And it seems like the first night they conceive a child. And the child's name is Ishmael.
Okay.
So that is clearly Abraham's seed,
Okay.
Ishmael. Isaac is Sarai's child. But it's extremely doubtful if it's Abraham's child.
So you're saying the Jewish line doesn't have Abraham as the seed
No,
bearer?
not the seed bearer, because not only three strangers visit, come in like you wandering from another place, come into their area they're staying, and one of them, and Abraham leaves and makes food for them, slaughters a calf, and comes back, and then the stranger said, your wife Sarah, they seem to know she's changed her name, is going to have a son in another year. And Sarah laughs, just like you. And so it seems that they could have been the father of Isaac. And to make it even clearer, when they start traveling like you again on the road, he says again, you're so beautiful. She's much older now. They're going to kill me and take you. So I'm going to sell on you my sister. And he gives her away to another king, Abimelech. So it seems the writer, probably a woman in my mind, but the writer wants the readers to think, hey, Isaac might not be Abraham's son at all. No wonder he hears this voice saying, I want you to kill this boy.
Ah.
And he listens to the voice, raises the knife, and at that moment, Isaac owes his life to Abraham, even if Isaac wasn't his son. And they, in that very brutal way, it reminds me of my forced feeding, in that very traumatic way, connect as father and son.
Wow.
And the Bible isn't sentimental like me. Isaac never speaks to Abraham again. When some messenger comes and says, don't do it, twice, two voices he hears, two different voices. Don't do it, don't stretch out your hand, don't do anything to the boy. And he listens. Different voice than the voice that told him, I want you to... And Isaac runs away and he never sees Abraham again when he's alive.
That's a different fatherhood than I've always pictured. So Abraham gives Isaac life by not taking his life.
Yeah. And it's very experiential. Isaac experiences
death.
I am only alive because my father
Heard these two
and the
voices.
voices he heard didn't. He's tied up on that altar.
Yeah.
So, there's many takeaways from this. I mean, I know a friend of mine in California, and he's very tall, basketball player, and he had a 6-foot daughter, black hair like him, and then his second daughter was 5 feet, blonde hair. He didn't say a word. He had his own extracurricular activities like Abraham and Sarah, and raised the second daughter like she was his daughter. 0. And so the beauty of the story is, especially I who have no children, I can connect to people, and they could be my son or granddaughter. Masha and I call each other granddaughter and grandfather.
Okay.
My roommate says I'm the father he never had. We call each other brother or father. So it's a very inspiring that you don't need the bloodline to be family. And so one way to bless all families on earth is to know we don't need to be bound by blood. I mean, eventually we all come from the beginning, whether you want to call it Adam and Eve. But we don't need to be bound by blood to find ways to be family. Look what America is, coming from all over. And we now feel we are, hey, USA. So that's, for me, a great gift to the story. It would help Arab-Israeli relations, among others. I mean, the Muslims believe that Ishmael was the boy that was almost sacrificed. And Ishmael is the chosen. But another reading of it, the one I just gave you now, is Ishmael is the seed of Abraham. And Isaac isn't. And that's okay. That you just have a friend who converted to Judaism. She doesn't need to be bound by blood. She can just be part of the tribe. So that could help all of us. That could help bring blessings to all families on earth. That alone. Let alone when you hear a voice and it says, like, I'm God speaking to you. Michael Horner, an anthropologist, goes to South America, try ayahuasca, and with a shaman by his side. And he takes it, comes out of the trance. Shaman says, what happened? And Michael Horner said, oh, it was so great. God came to me and said, Michael, I've been wanting you to find me your whole life, and now you've found me, and we can be bound together, and I can guide you through life. And Michael Horner says, I'm so thankful to the ayahuasca. And the shaman says, all the spirits say that. And this is in some ways very freeing. That it's not my voice is the only God of the universe. And there's 3 religions that come from Abraham. They all trace back to Abraham. To have an understanding that the divinity has many voices, eager for conversation. Abraham has one of those voices say, I'm going to destroy Sodom.
Right.
They're making love to everybody, men, and so I'm going to destroy it. And Abraham says, you don't want to do that. You're a just God, aren't you? You wouldn't destroy the innocent with the wicked, would you? What if there's 50 innocent people? No, nay, Yahweh. You're not that kind of God. He says, okay. Abraham says, well, what if there's only 45? Just because they missed 5, you wouldn't do it, would you? And keeps bogging them down.
Yeah.
So that's a huge, the Jewish tradition, they're critical of Noah for not doing that. When Noah hears, I'm going to flood the world, you build an ark, he doesn't say, hey, wait a minute. You're not going to kill the panthers and the snakes and all the people? Because you're a good God. No, not a peep. Just, oh, thank you, I'll build the ark, take my family in, take a few lucky.
The hell with the rest of them.
Yes. Not even, so Abraham transcends that.
Oh.
Not even for himself. I mean, his nephew was living in Sodom. So that's huge gift to bring blessings to the world, really. That whatever voice we hear, even if it says it's God, it could well be. It could be one of the divine voices, one part of the Elohim community, and the divine. And when we really get together, the Elohim community will be working together as one for all and all for one.
Take me back to the Elohim community be working together. The Elohim are the voices.
Right, the voices we hear, or they could be influenced by the people we meet. Like I was when I proposed marriage to my wife, remember? Am I losing you here?
Yeah.
Oh, I heard my mother said to my housemate, why doesn't Michael marry Robbie?
Right.
And the next day I hear a voice in my head, propose to Robbie. So these voices could come from many places.
But you're saying they're all healthy?
They all, according to internal family systems, all of our parts, every part, is ultimately, if we really listen to it, wanting our well-being.
Right, but I assume that like, okay, so Abraham to not kill Isaac had to listen to the voice saying to kill him and then saying not to kill him. So there's got to be some dialogue in there.
There's got to be dialogue, as he did when he was told that I'm going to destroy Sodom.
Okay, so Noah didn't listen to the voices at all,
Noah listened to the voice to build the ark,
and that was it.
but he didn't have a dialogue.
Got it.
He's just a good boy, did what he was told.
So listen to the voices and dialogue.
And dialogue, which is a great gift
Right.
for the world, really.
Yeah, okay.
So many people do things because God tells them, period, rather than, okay, let's talk this over.
Ah. Okay.
The Unitarians say truth can only be found after listening to many voices.
Huh. Okay. So not just listening to the voices like Michael Harner, but recognizing that there's a lot of voices in there and that you've got to listen to all the gods and listen to all the voices.
Yes, and to check it out with people who you trust, like a good shaman.
Okay.
Not just do it yourself.
Okay.
After many voices are heard. And the beautiful thing about the story of Abraham is many voices are heard.
Uh-huh.
There's other names of God I haven't told you. There are the names of divinity, not God.
Uh-huh.
There's El Shaddai, there's El Elyon, which can mean going up.
Uh-huh.
El Olam, meaning there's some things, a voice that will last on and on and on. Many voices. And at the end of his life,
Uh-huh.
good old Abraham, he tells whatever divinity he's hearing, he tells the divinity what to do. He's not listening. He's not just listening. He's not just arguing. He tells the servant, I want you to go back to where we started. Remember, he heard, go to the land I will show you. That was in Iraq,
Okay.
modern day Iraq. He tells the servant, listen, Isaac won't talk to me anymore, but I'm going to help him anyway. You're going to go find a wife for him. And the servant says, well, I don't know, I can try. And Abraham says, God will send his messenger before you. So he's telling divinity what to do.
To get down there and be ready to give a voice to this messenger.
Help my servant find a wife. So he, instead of just listening, he's now enough together in his psyche to say, I'm not just going to listen to divine voices. I'm not just going to have dialogue with divine voices. I'm going to say what I want.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to, if that divine voice can command me, okay, well, we can both do it. I'm going to tell you this is what the divine is going to do to help find the
So
way.
now I get the impression that you're portraying Abraham as this sort of maestro of voices. He's learned to hear the voices. He's learned to dialogue with the voices, and that's become his forte. Is what you're
Yes.
picture getting. So he's like a shaman in a sense now. That I have a picture of him just being really confident with the voices. Is that the picture you're giving?
Yes, and even more.
Okay.
He can see divinity. Divinity could be a person. Divinity could be a tree, perhaps. It says when he gets to Canaan, the land I will show you, he sees divinity. He sees Yahweh, says the Hebrew. Doesn't say what he sees, so it's wonderful. We have, but I mean, we were sitting outside. These trees, we can see them even now from the window. There's divinity in there. I mean, Van Gogh can paint them. A good photographer can see it. So for Abraham, divinity can be not just a voice, but a person, a tree, and even more, perhaps freeing. After telling divinity, you're going to help my servant find a wife for Isaac.
Uh-huh.
He doesn't speak or communicate or experience divinity ever again. He's content, not only content, is able to live an extremely fruitful life, and says, I'm putting that behind me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to say divinity is everywhere. I could say that.
Mm-hmm.
That is too much to put on. It's a tree.
Mm-hmm.
It's an Uncle Jake.
Mm-hmm.
It's an audience member. That's mind-blowing or humongously beautiful enough
Mm-hmm.
that I don't want to even say you're divine.
Mm-hmm.
You're Uncle Jake.
Mm-hmm.
That's more. And the story is so ruthlessly honest that it says that when Abraham dies, you think this is in the Bible, the foundation of the three great monotheistic religions of the world. You'd think it might say, well, he dies, and they could be nice and say, and God takes him to his bosom or something. No! No mention of divinity. He dies, full of years, which I hope for both of us, ripe with years, is another translation.
Mm-hmm.
He dies, when you're ripe, the time the fruit to fall, and it just says he's gathered to his people.
Mm. But not the voices.
No, he's gathered to his people. He's
And
gotten beyond.
Not people voices, but
No,
his people.
His
Okay.
people.
Okay, well, going back to him as being the master of voices, if you're allowing me to have this interpretation.
Yes, for top
Then I'm hearing you say that he lets it go after Isaac in the messenger. So then he's kind of just communing with the tree. So the voices become like a direct connection or something, is the picture I'm getting.
Or maybe the word voice might be a too human word.
Oh, okay.
You know this as a writer. My Fair Lady, words, that it could be
Inspirations.
Yes, there's communion and communication. And the word voice might be not, I don't hear the tree talking to me, but there's something going on. There's some communication.
Right. Well, the reason I get so excited about this, and maybe over picturing him as, you want me to use something besides voices, but his communing. So his rampant communing, we'll call it that.
Yes.
And that's in the famous book Mimesis. You remember that there's the opening chapter is comparing Homer with Abraham and the Old Testament. And the writing that they portray is that for Homer, here's this description in the Odyssey where there's all this detail, even though all this mystery's going on, and it's like Odysseus is in the house and they don't know it, and the servants are around, and it could be. So the drama is all intense, but they're just doing all the details. They're saying like what so and so's wearing, and because that reminds them of the hunt that they went on, and so talky. But here they're talking about Abraham. Is he just says like, I see thee, Isaac, or just the briefest of kind of direct communing. So does that reinforce your view that this Abraham person, this tradition that he represents, is a kind of communing, dialogue and communing kind of vision?
Yes, with the mystery of everything. Mm-hmm. The mystery of you, the mystery of our day, especially if you're taking the trips you take, brave Uncle Jake. The mystery of what you'll encounter, who you'll meet, who you'll go with, what you'll make of it. I mean, you're just like Abraham, you're just going to a land that you will be
right. But
shown.
Still, Abraham is punctuating the ineffable in the moment.
Yes.
So even though I'm going on a voyage, and we can talk about that, it's like, what do I do next?
Yes.
What speaks to us now that's ineffable, or is what communing is the way we sit
Yes, it's happening right now. We didn't know this show would be. I didn't know it would go to these places. I'm very happy.
Uh-huh.
You've enabled me to find, at least for me, I hope for you, why this is important to, I hope, everyone.
Yeah, and I get that it's much more a I thou kind of conversation than that we don't know what the next will say or where the community
No, we
goes.
don't. Right. Which is really what most of our days are like. As John Lennon said, life is what happens in between our plans.
And that's where Abraham is coming
Yes,
from.
he does. Jeez, goes to the land he doesn't know, gives his wife away, makes love to her. He doesn't know where any of this is going. Is open to whatever he hears. Open to saying, I see enough of these voices too. I'm going to now live my life without them, without even mentioning divinity. I can do it now. At the end of his life, he gets married and has 6 children. He couldn't, he had so much, it was almost like a stand-up comedy routine. 6 children, no problems, is wise enough to give them all gifts and say, you can move east so that he can give his blessings to Isaac, even though he doesn't meet Isaac. He owes a lot to Isaac. And that's how it ends.
So now I'm picturing that.
We have 30 seconds.
Now I'm picturing that it's all about being present in a certain way.
Yes.
Is that a part of Abraham's vision?
Present to the mystery and listening to whatever communing and communication come to you.
But in the discovery at the present time.
At the present time, as we have on the show.
So
15 seconds.
And so you're still discovering the mystery of Abraham.
Thanks to you, it's coming out more clearly than I knew.
Okay. And so we'll be hearing more soon from you?